From my impressions of working with older people at my old job, they tend to be married, have kids who are not just toddlers but teenagers, and they're very involved with their families. They cook a lot every night, cook on weekends, and mainly talk about their kids.
And what was one of the biggest challenges you faced while working with older coworkers?
Just given that I was the only one at that time who was not married and did not have kids, I didn't really have anything to contribute to their conversations. Usually they talk about what they did over the weekend with their kids, and we just didn't have a lot of common topics. It would still be fine in the sense that we'd be able to strike up conversation, but I can't say that really bonded and having similar topics of interest.
Okay. What is your definition of hard work?
Hard work probably involves just having self-motivation to complete the tasks that you need to complete and putting in just the necessary effort and energy towards it. So not giving, just 50%, but giving like 100%, even perhaps more, going over and beyond what you need to do.
Okay. And last question, do you have any communication gaps between if you're looking at somebody in your generation versus an older worker? Is there any way that's hard to communicate with them?
I think there is. I'm thinking of a certain person right now, and I can't pinpoint what it is, but it is different. Like I would say that through email communication, I find like my generation tends to be a little bit more efficient with the way they're using not only their time, but the words and getting across the right message in the least possible number of words. But at least this certain person who is older does tend to be a little bit more flowery in the language and almost like going in big circles before finally getting to the point.
Awesome. All right. Thank you.
Is this my best side?
Is this getting in your way?
Nope.
Wow.
No pressure. We'll just cut little bits and pieces.
Yes, I'll just stutter a lot.
You good?
I'm fine.
All right. All right, Qantas, tell me who you are and what you do in 30 seconds or less.
Right now I work at Accenture, which is a global consulting company in the advertising department. I work with the sponsorship advertising as well as some competitive research.
Okay. What is one of the biggest challenges you have with coworkers that are older or younger than you?
I think the definition of hard work and the technology gap is the biggest issue. Them understanding new technology and the importance of it and actually using it.
Can you
And
tell me more about that? What kind of technology?
things such as utilizing podcasts and different things that you can, little functions on websites that they're not aware of, how to send hyperlinks, things of that nature.
Okay. What do you wish that they would understand about your generation?
That we're not all lazy. I think that's one thing, a misconception, that they think young people are lazy and don't really appreciate hard work the same way they do. But I think my generation thinks more about working smarter, not necessarily just harder.
Describe what you would call the typical baby boomer or older worker.
I would describe the typical baby boomer as definitely by the age of over 40. They come from a different generation where people stay at companies a lot longer than they do nowadays. They're more loyal to the company instead of just loyal to themselves, so to speak. And they expect, I guess, the corporation or the company to be more of a paternalistic, I guess, compared to my generation, where we know that jobs aren't permanent and things change, and you have to adapt to a change in organizational structure. You have to adapt to a change in whatever else may come up, and not complain about it.
Okay. And what is your definition of hard work?
I think To me, hard work is going above and beyond just your job duties and realizing that you have a responsibility bigger than just what's given to you, and that you have a responsibility to know more about the company as a whole, and not just your little function, but also knowing what you do interacts with the other departments and how it helps the company as a whole. So just completing your tasks as well as knowing how your tasks are important in the bigger picture, as well as where the organization is going as a whole.
Yep. Money blunder you care to share?
I think the biggest money blunder I had coming out of college was thinking I was going to make a bunch of money so I could spend money, and I was going to live below my means, and that I was going to always have more money than what I think I did, not realizing that the more money you make, the more money you spend. I think that was the biggest misconception, is not realizing the more you make, the more you spend.
What do you wish you'd known about personal finances when you graduated from college?
I wish I would have known that the more you make, the more you spend, and also that the credit cards that they gave you a free T-shirt is not worth it. You end up with a free T-shirt that you use for everything, but you still have credit cards with interest rates that just make it forever. It takes you forever to pay off. So.
Yeah. Do you need to get any from a different angle? You want any front on? No? You good?
Good.
All right. What is the best way to communicate at work?
I think understanding your audience, understanding who you're writing the email to, and how they would perceive what you're writing, and kind of speaking at their level. Not necessarily changing how you talk, but maybe just some of the wording and being as clear as possible. I like to use bullet points. I hate it when people send like a really long, wordy email, and they get mad if you don't send one in return. But I think short, concise, to the point, meet the person where they're at, give a little background, things of that nature.
And what are some ways that you're making sure you're furthering your personal development?
I definitely network outside of my industry field. I get to meet people who aren't just in advertising, but also who are in finance or accounting or law or medical field, just to get well-rounded in what's going on in other people's lives. Also reading books, finding out what other people are reading, go to a bookstore, just browse the different sections, see what's hot. Reading different types of publications, general business publications as well as advertising publications, to stay, abreast on what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Cool. All right. Well, thank you.